Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. Round 7 of the Taco Tuesday series takes us to the Nurburgring in Eifel, Germany. Tom Gant, your commentator, and I'll be here for the next couple of hours or so to guide you through the action. See who will come out on top here out of the 26 drivers that are due to compete here this evening in the Pro category of the Taco Tuesday series. In terms of what happened last week, Bruno Canavera came out on top in the 90-minute special, which made it back-to-back wins for himself, but he will not be making it a hat-trick, as apparently he's absent for tonight, which is a huge shame, because I would like to have seen him in the action. I don't know, he may change his mind at the last minute, but we'll wait and see. We have some cars out on circuit doing their final laps before qualifying begins. This is round 7 out of 10. We've got 4 races to go in season 9. We're at Nurburgring today. Asano is next week, Zandvoort the week after, and the season finale will be in Kyalami, South Africa. Going into this round, Sean Cole continues to lead the way. The title race, 9 points clear over Ahmed Al-Dori. Melvin Crow's in 3rd place, otherwise known as MGK. He's on 188 points, and Mario Senio is tied with him. So the top 4 are separated by 11 points. The Busov is waiting in the wings at the moment in 5th on 164, 35 points off the top. For your information about the point score, it is 40 points for a win, 38 for 2nd, 36 for 3rd. The top 11 positions are separated by 2 points from each other, and it's a point difference from 11th downwards. Also a couple of points up for grabs for the driver that sets the fastest up of the race, which can be anyone. Just looking at the field at the moment, there appears to be a new driver on the screen called Spanu in the number 18 Aston Martin. See that as we speak, just so that I'm on top of who that driver will be. Not had him before. That is Alessandro Spanu from Italy. Is in as a reserve tonight. Should expect to see Chris Knight involved in the action too. Is he registered in to compete? 22 drivers in the server at the present moment. Craig Law is another of the reserves in as well. Top of the timing pages on a 155.1. Going through the chicane, it's not the same chicane as what Formula 1 uses. They use the slower version of it. Nurburgring track, if you're using the Grand Prix layout, which is the length will be similar to the ones that the drivers are using. It's 5.1 kilometers, 15 turns. Kudos to Formula 1 action, most notably. Host of the German Grand Prix. Total of 22 occasions, I believe. Something like that, anyway. 12 of those, 12 more races are held as the European Grand Prix, and 2 of the Luxembourg Grand Prix, and 1 that was the Eifel Grand Prix, the most recent one in 2020. I'm saying the mention of the German Grand Prix, it's the Formula 1 World Championship Grand Prix, because there are a number of non-championship races of which the Nurburgring has hosted over the years. Whilst it's not on the Formula 1 calendar at the moment, it has played host to some GT World Cup Challenge racing this year, at least anyway, or it's going to. It's DTM, there's the 24 Hours of Nurburgring, which is a GT event also. It's the Nurburgring Endurance Series that takes place. That's done every year since 1977. Of course, the track has undergone some changes over the years. Schleifer, as we know, is hardly used now for any form of motor racing for safety reasons. I mentioned the infamous race of 1976 that nearly claimed the life of Niki Lauda. Definitely played its role in the championship battle between him and James Hunt. It wasn't until 1984 when Formula 1 returned to the Nürburgring at this particular part of this historic venue, the Nürburgring. It works as well. It's definitely a safer circuit compared to the Nordschleife, the 14-mile configuration. Also, another change to the circuit was what was previously known as the Castrol S, which is turns 1-2. It's like a fast chicane. That has been replaced by what is currently the Mercedes Arena, or the Yokohama S. It's called the Yokohama S, by my understanding. It is called the Yokohama S. There's also the Dunlop curve, which is the hairpin of turn 8, and it's the Michael Schumacher S of turns 9 and 10. The Revenol curve, the Warsteiner curve, the Alphen Bogen. There's like a chicane towards the end of the light before the Jaguar curve to round off a lap of this circuit. It's a brilliant track. It's either for you or it's not, but it's definitely a historic venue for Formula 1. It'd be great if Formula 1 could go back here, but the reasons of money are the barrier to hosting Formula 1 again, and with a competitive environment as it is, in trying to get a Grand Prix, not just happening for that 1 year, but also in the medium term and long term. The arrival of Audi in 2026. Who knows? You know, there may be some funding in place. It would be a race at the Nürburgring or a race at Hockenheim. I think that's anyone's guess really at the present moment. It doesn't seem to be that Germany is coming back onto the Formula 1 calendar anytime soon. So who will come out on top here? The German venue of Nürburgring. Well, Craig Law is top of the timing pages still at the moment. There are a lot of drivers who have yet to make their way onto the track. You just see a car go off there. That's Damian van der Waal there, who's currently running in 5th position. Got Paul Trotman, Cameron Makowski, Sean Cole. Got Vantage, who is in tonight. Number 47, Aston Martin. Vantage for your information. Seem to find his name, unfortunately. Either way, He'll be on circuit now, preparing to go for a fast lap. Josh Clayton in the number 500 Mercedes AMG. Didn't compete last week. First finish of 9th in round 3, which will have been the Hungaroring. To who have joined us, we do welcome you. Do feel free to get involved in the live chat if you ever so wish to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep right up to date with all the action that's happening in the FRL. Saw Craig Law go into the barrier there at the Schumacher S, and has had to decided to go back to the pit lane. It's hardly any points to continue on with the lap he was doing. Go for a lap with someone then, since we've got some time. Find someone on the map at the moment, just bear with me one moment. Go on board with Will Freeman. So I'm sure he'll kindly take us on a lap. So we go on board with Will Freeman in the number 8 McLaren. So when you begin the lap, important to get a very good exit on the exit of the Jaguar curve, and then as you apply the throttle up to 5th gear before approaching the Yokohama S. So after the 100 metre board, brake down to 1st gear, 60 kilometers an hour before you gently apply the throttle, position the car on the outside for the Mercedes arena. So through turn 2, no problem. On the apex for 3, puts you in line for 4 using the inside curve. Don't go too far out wide, which is what Will Freeman has done, and that's invalidated the lap, but we'll stay with him for now. So into turn 5 and 6, and just like the last corner, you gently apply the throttle using all the curve you can, and then down the hill towards the Dunlop curve. It's on a gradient as well, so don't worry about missing the apex slightly, you can afford to do that. Turns 9 and 10. To the Michael Schumacher curve. Through there, no problem, and up to 5th gear before downshifting to 2nd, 120 kilometers an hour at the apex for the Ravenel curve, and this is the Varsteimer curve. On turn 12, Advan Bogan. Just turn 13, this is a small kink that you go through, and then the chicane of 14 and 15. Turn 16, which I believe is the last corner. The Jaguar curve, 2nd gear, around about 100 kilometers an hour, before using the curve on the outside on your way to the line. So, thanks to Will Freeman on taking us on a lap of this Nurburgring circuit. Got 2 minutes to go, and Craig Law is still top of the timing pages. Then it's Melvin Crowe 2nd, Smallhand 3rd, doing a good job so far in this practice session. We've got Morix on circuit now. I think it's only just come onto the track, so I'm not sure if he's going to have time to get over the line to go and get a flying lap done here, but let's see what he can do. Trotman is on a lap, presumably, I think, anyway. Hudson maybe on a lap himself. Down the hill comes Stuart Hutchinson. Approaching turn 8. Might be turn 7 actually, thinking of it. A bit confusing because sometimes the Kings are not classed as corners by some, but others are. Not too important right now. Freeman in the McLaren. He's going straight into the pit lane. He decides he's not going to go and do another lap. I think Moritz may just miss the line, but he's going to give it a good go. It's going to come up short. Now the checker flag has fallen, so Moritz's session is done. Fortunate to not get that lap time that he would have wanted in there. Payton's off the circuit, and he'll go straight into the pit lane. Saw Adam Anderson go to the top. Well, I say go to the top, go to P3, 1 minute 55.4, which is not too bad. Smallhand is on a lap. Got over the line before the checker flag had fallen, so at least he's going to have a shot at maybe going for flyer here. Not that it changes anything in this practice session, it doesn't count for points or anything like that. How will Smallhand get on with this final flying lap? Is there a driver in front of him? I think there is. There's MGK, who's towards the end of his final effort. Both come around. MGK has gone into the pits, so he's not going to be improving his time. And crosses over the line now. Did he improve on that final effort? I would probably say, oh yeah, he did improve on that final effort, so he's gone up to P3 by the end of that. The qualifying is underway then. At the moment we've got 26 drivers in the lobby, which is great to see. Oh, and that's a driver that's just gone for a spin. Is that Craig Law who's gone off track? It is, and he's clearly pushed too hard there, and he nearly took out Stuart Hutchinson. Able to get back on track. Imagine the vast majority of the drivers will be heading out on track now. They've only got 15 minutes. Consider the outlap and the flying laps that are going in. Time is the essence to get the lap that you want, but also track position. The leading driver at the moment is Hutchinson, who's just going through turns of 10 and 11, I believe, on the Volsteimer curve. Oh, and that's him going for a spin, and I think we're going to see a lot of that in this qualifying session, and probably in the race too. So the leading driver now is Fighter, otherwise known as Kobe Alerts. First driver to begin a flying lap. Down towards turn 1 he comes. Helmet S. Down towards 5 and 6. Fighter wasn't around last week to make up for that now. Dunlop curve, no problem. This turns 8 and 9, the Michael Schumacher S. 5 times a race winner at this circuit. He comes out of the Volsteiner curve to the chicane. How will he take this one? Through. Doesn't take too much. That's probably about the right amount to be taken. He's nailed that quite perfectly. So Fighter is going to be the first driver over the line then. We're expecting around a low 1 minute 55 for pole position. And Fighter's gone and posted a 1:56.4. Don't know how much of an improvement that's going to be beaten. Well, Ben Mulden's gone to the top. The first driver into the 55s. Hutchinson's in third position. A 1:57.5 that he's posted. Will Freeman has gone to the top, only by a small fraction, but enough to see him go to provisional pole. Armin Dory third, Devin van der Waal fourth for a moment. And Anderson producing some quality pace in the 888 Porsche. And he goes to P1. And Fireblaze got to 9th, or well 10th now, because Ice Dude has displaced him. MGK just 0.003 of a second away from pole position, so far so good from Adam Anderson, but there's still 10 minutes to go. What is Nikola Busov doing at the moment? He's gone over the line, but he's not got a lap time on the board, so I wonder if he had this lap time invalidated. Morix has gone to the top himself, 1:55.1. So he had some clean air to produce that lap, and it's paid off for him. Paul Trotman, he was unable to start last week's race because of a broken brake pedal. Slowest of all those that have posted lap times. And Alessandro Spanu has gone 16th with a 1:58.7. So the slowest of all the lap times as we speak. We've got the 336 of Lewis Robinson has just begun a lap. Now we've got the 34 of Varklov of Pissel. 34 Audi. He goes 7th. That's a nice lap time from him. A 7:02 heading over the line now. That will be Fighter again, I believe. And his lap time has not moved him up the order. Milden next behind. He goes up to 4th. Was 5th. He's now onto the second row. Will Freeman in the McLaren. Move himself back into the top 3 maybe. Well, it's no improvement on his lap time. 20 drivers have produced a lap time so far. Aldori's gone up to P2 now. Anderson down to 3rd place. MGK is just coming through the chicane now and heading towards the final corner of the lap. And he's got Nikola Busov for company, who's about to post his first time of qualifying. MGK over the line, no improvement. Busov goes up to... Did he get that lap time on the board? I'm just trying to have a look. I don't think he did actually, did he? I think he invalidated again. So not good news for him. Just seen that Andy Craven's joined the server now. So we've got 27 drivers in the server, which is great news. So Morix top of the table, and he's extended the margin. It's a 1:54.6 that he's posted. That's half a second faster than the fastest time we saw in practice that Craig Law had posted. So Mario Arsenio, meaning business in his quest for the Taco Tuesday title. Pulls off the circuit just to stay out of the way. He'll probably go back in and get some more fuel for his next run. Aldori's in P2 at the moment, looking for a quality lap time. Sean Cole is 5th with a 1:55.4. Got Nils van Lyck in P7 in the number 14 BMW. Milden and Law down to 9th and 10th now. Both of them have got some work to do. Lewis Robinson's 17th as we speak. Hutchinson 21st. Around the last corner now. It's Aldori. And this lap time of his, is it an improvement from before? It's not, unfortunately. So he stays in 2nd place. Anderson doesn't improve his time either. He stays 3rd. MGK still looking for an improvement from before. He's got Busov behind him, who should be posting his first lap time of the session now. MGK goes 2nd, Busov goes 6th. Both drivers moving up the order at the same time. Now we've got the number 47 of Vantage who's going over the line now in the Aston Martin. And it's not an improvement, so he stays where he is in 18th place. Milden next. P12 at the moment. He needs to make his way up the order, and he doesn't on this occasion. 2-4-6 of Paul Trotman next to cross over the line. I'm not sure if this is going to be an improvement from before. We'll see right now. Oh, it is an improvement, but only a slight. 23rd place he is currently. Spanu has gone up to 23rd, so he displaces Trotman. Moggs and Craven have yet to get their first times on the board. I think, by the way, Moggs had gone off there. It doesn't look like he's going to be posting a lap time on this one. See now if he does actually get a time on the board. No, not on this occasion. So work to do for him. Morex is still top. The gap is cut down by MGK, but it's, Mario Arsenio is the man to beat. Last week, Arsenio was 3rd on the grid. Just looking at his qualifying record so far this season. He's been on pole at Suzuka. He's on the front row at Snetterton. He's on pole at Silverstone. He was only 3rd last week in Bathurst. So his qualifying record this season has been brilliant. 2 pole positions, going for pole number 3. No race victory yet this campaign. As a result of 2nd at Silverstone. That's so easy. Could have been a race win had it not been for his mistake at Village Corner. He's had a consistent campaign. He's finished in the top 4 in 4 of the 6 races so far this campaign. Sean Cole, the championship leader, 5th at the moment on the timing pages. Busov is 6th. And how is Moggs getting on? Well, Craven's going over the line now, and he's still yet to get a time on the board. Moggs is coming through the chicane. And he's done a reasonable job in the reserve drives that he's done this season previously. And his lap time has put him in P21. Obviously not doing the best of jobs at the moment. He's 26th in the 1 minute 58s, I believe, or in the high 1 minute 57s. He doesn't improve on this lap, so he's got a couple of goes to see if he can make his way up the order. Smallhand's doing a fine job in the 420 BMW. He's in P4. Anderson down to 5th place, but he's still doing a stellar job. Kull, Busov, Van der Waal, Vissel and Clayton inside the top 10 and within a second of the pole sitter as we speak. Track temperature 33 degrees, that's scorching hot, and 24 degrees air temperature. Anderson's coming round the chicane. We've got the 47 going through the last corner. That will be Vantage, who's in P19 behind Ray Thomas in the 58 BMW. This is Vantage in the number 47 Aston Martin. He does not go up the order this time around. Aldori still in P3. Main targets on Morrissenio, Sean Kull, and one other driver that's very much up there in the championship standings, that is MGK. MGK's way down the order actually. Oh no, he's not actually. What am I talking about? Second fastest is MGK. So the lowest out of the 4 drivers at the top of the championship is Sean Kull, who's the leader, and he's in P7 right now, so he's got some work to do. With less than 90 seconds to go. It's on a lap now, so is he going to find enough time on this lap to pull something out of the bag? .433 going through the Vorsteiner curve. 433 is Damian van der Waal, the Dutchman. To go before the checker flag falls. Van der Waal will get over the line for one last effort. He's probably gone too far out wide. He's taken a wide line into the last corner so that he can get a good run. It's pit straight before turn 1. Behind him is Morex, is going over the line, and he's not improved, but he's still top. And Busov's gone up to 3rd place now. Sean Kull's down to 9th position. Craig Law up there in P4. Aldori down to 5th place. This is Sean Kull. He'll get one more go at this. Crosses over the line. Does he move up from P9 with this one? He doesn't. He improved his time, only ever so slightly, but not enough to move him up the order. MGK crosses over the line just as the checker flag has fallen. P2 it is, so he will not be on pole position. Busov on a lap. Anderson likewise, he got over the line before the checker flag has fallen. Craig Law has done his part in this qualifying quarter of an hour. Number 14 heading over the line now, that is Niels van Lyck. A second off the pace in P13, and he goes up to 10th place. That's a great effort from Van Lyck. Will he remain there as the session concludes? Number 22 coming through now, that will be Stuart Hutchison, who's in 23rd place. I think Campbell Mikowski's behind him actually. Hutchison backs off, so he won't be improving. Mikowski goes up to 22nd, so at least he improved right at the end of the 15 minutes, but he's not moved up drastically up the order. 433 of Van der Waal coming through, and the same with Morex, and Morex seems to have this one in the bag. He makes a mistake on the exit of the chicane, but gets away with it. I think he might have gone into the pits. No, he hasn't. Now can Van der Waal take pole position away from him? Goes over the line, improves his time, but stays in P8. So it's Mario Arsenio who is on pole for the 3rd time this season by a 10th of a second over Melvin Krause. A very, very good job indeed. Aldari and Busov next in 3rd and 4th. We've got Adam Anderson and Craig Law in 5th and 6th places respectively, with Smallhand and Van der Waal on row 4. Sean Kull down in 9th place. He's got some work to do to remain in the lead of the championship battle. Niels van Lyck rounding out the top 10. Ben Milden and Velcliffe Befizzle are 11th and 12th, with Josh Clayton and Lewis Robinson on the 7th row. Will Freeman and Kobe Alerts are 15th and 16th. Icedo doing a brilliant job actually in the 161 Audi in 17th place, ahead of Vantage, who's in as a reserve in the number 47 Aston Martin in 18th place. We've got Ray Thomas and Fireblade in 19th and 20th positions. Moggs and Cameron Makowski are on row 11, followed by Cameron Blair and Stuart Hutchinson. Then it's Alessandro Spanu and Paul Trotman in 25th and 26th places respectively. In 27th and last place with no lap time registered on the board is Andy Craven. Watch out for him because he could make his way through the field. He has produced some brilliant racecraft in the past. He could so do it again. We are about 5 minutes away from the start of the formation lap. So it's good to hear how your week has been getting on, or your day, or how your month or year, whichever you'd be happy to share about. It's a good lap time from Marasenio to pull clear of the rest. Can he convert that into a victory? 60-minute race with a mandatory pit stop included. You do have to change tyres. You don't have to refuel. You can fuel the car up all the way to the end. With it being a 60-minute race, I would say we're looking at 30 laps here at the Nurburgring, if you were to consider the mandatory pit stops of which each driver has to do. Pit window will open 1 minute after the race starts, so essentially you can take that at the end of lap 1 if you wanted to. And you can also, and the pit window closes 1 minute before the checker flag, so you need to make sure you make that mandatory pit stop before the 1 minute signal towards the end of the race. Expecting dry conditions for the race. So the drivers are on the grid now. If any drivers are looking to start from the pit lane, we'll keep you informed of that. Just making some final setup changes. Formation lap will begin. Brilliant racetrack it is. Know who your money is on for tonight. It's a shame that Bruno Canavera can't be around tonight, because he could have done with another victory to throw himself in championship contention, so you'll have to hope his rivals all struggle this evening. So it should be green flag conditions at around about 9 PM. British summertime. Drivers are starting to rev their engines now, raring to go. This is a formation that before a rolling start. As always in this particular game cycle of Assetto Corsa Competizione. This game cycle has been around since 2018. Field are off on their formation lap. And Mauro Senio convert this into a first win of the season. Does that, he could come away as the championship leader after this race. 3 rounds to go. Misano, Sunfor and Kailami are the remaining venues to close out this campaign. So we'll run down on the grid order again, in case you've just joined us. Well, before we do that, we just notified that Andy Craven will be starting the race from the pit lane. He ended up last by the end of qualifying anyway, so it makes no difference to his grid spot or to anyone else's. So Mauro Senio on pole position with MGK alongside. Then it's Armin Aldori and Nikola Busov on the second row. Adam Anderson and Craig Law are on row 3, followed by Smolhan and Demian van der Waal on the 4th row of the grid. Sean Cole and Nils van Lyck on the 5th row. Ben Milden and Farklop Vissel are on row 6, followed by Josh Clayton and Lewis Robinson on the 7th row. Will Freeman and Kobe Alerts on row 8. Icedude and Vantage are on the 9th row, followed by Ray Thomas and Mark Bagnall, rounding out the top 20. We've got Moggs and Kelmel Makovsky in 21st and 22nd places respectively. Cameron Blair and Stuart Hutchison next to each other on row 12. We've got Alex Spanu and Paul Trubman line up in 25th and 26th. And one driver that is not on the grid that will be starting from the pit lane is Andy Craven in the number 16 BMW. Don't know how long the Formula Racing League will continue racing on Assetto Corsa Competizione, because I did see a source about Assetto Corsa 2 scheduled to be released next year, so there is still some time before they come around to that. To our understanding, the Nordschleife is expected to be included in Assetto Corsa 2, which should be very exciting for the drivers, gamers in general. Drivers are beginning to come into their rows of 2 now, raring to go for the start of the race. Round 7 of 10 in the pro category of Taco Tuesday in the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. Mauro Senio has got the field behind him. He's alongside him, but Senio will have the inside line into turn 1 from here on in, presumably. We're ready to go then. The drivers coming out of the last corner. When the green flag is waved, the drivers can start racing. And the green flag is waved. They're off. Now, can Senio defend his line into turn 1? He'll need to watch for MGK in case he decides to make a dive bomb into the Yokohama S. Down towards turn 1 they come. And Aldori looks to make him move up the inside of MGK, but MGK will have the better line on the exit for turn 2. And Busov is on the inside of Craig Law, but Busov nearly spinning there, and it looks like another driver spun around. Is that Smolhan that spun, or is it Sean Cole? Now, I think Sean Cole's got through all that. He's made up a few positions, so brilliant start from the championship leader, who's moved himself up into 6th position, I believe, from 9th on the grid. And finding out who that was that spun, I think that might have been Craig Law that's spun to the back. So disaster for him. He was 6th on the grid and is now down to, I believe, 25th. So Morix leads. MGK is in 2nd position with Aldori 3rd. In 4th place I believe, is Busov ahead of Adam Anderson's mid-off position. So the top 4 are in the same positions as what they were on the grid. Mikowski had a spin also at turn 3, so he's not had the best of starts to this race. It looks like Andy Craven hasn't got out of the pit yet. I don't know what's going on with him, thinking of it. I don't know if he's suffered a problem, so I can find out more in terms of what's been going on with that. Morix is still in front then, as the drivers are coming around the chicane. Busov 4th, Anderson ahead of Cole, Van der Waal, Smolhan, Van Lyck and Milden. So Milden moving up a position or 2 on that opening lap, so he's done a respectable job as we speak. Oh, and he's gone off the track, comes back onto the circuit, and it looks like Smolhan has rejoined in a rather unsafe manner there. I know he lost it, but the way he rejoined back onto the circuit was rather too unsafe. So the stewards may have a little bit of a word with him afterwards, but I'm sure Smolhan will have a case on that as well. Cole running in 6th position, Van der Waal ahead of Van Lyck, who's ahead of Smolhan now. Milden is in P10 in the number 5 Mercedes AMG. And Craven's down a lap now, so that could well be his day done, to be honest with you, before it's even started. Anderson in 5th place, putting Busov under pressure. Anderson, who's had rather of a nightmare at Bathurst last week, make up for it here. It's one of number of drivers that didn't make it to the checker flag. We had a number of retirements last week. Second lap. MGK in P2. Field continuing to filter their way round this 5.1 kilometre circuit here, Nurburgring in Germany. See Anderson right on the tail of Busov now as they come onto the pit straight. Go for a move into turn 1. It is worth noting that some drivers may have decided to go into this race with a fuel load to last until the end of the race. Others may have decided to short fuel before they stop. It's lap 3 of the race. Craig Law is beginning to make his way through the field. He's just got past Josh Layton and is now going side by side with Moggs, and he's got past Moggs at the Yokohama S. So Law making up for lost time. It's only an hour race, so he hasn't got too long really before he starts making passes on everyone. So he lost ground on the leaders. Go on board with him as he goes through turns 5 and 6. There's no sign of rain that's going to hit the circuit. It is on a double multiplier, I say it in terms of the time elapsing. With that, I don't expect the time of day to change too much in terms of the daylight. See Craig Law pushing as hard as he can, the man who was fastest in practice. Quite emulate that in qualifying. It's quite some way off the pace. It was around about 6 or 7 tenths off the pace as Moggs runs wide on that kink there before they approach the final chicane of the lap. So Anderson's right on Cole's tail. I think Cole might have just made a move on him actually. So Sean Cole, the championship leader, is up to 5th position. Now Mauro Senio's got the fastest up of the race so far. Now the top 5 in the championship are all in the top 5 positions in this race. Now if it was to remain as it is, Mauro Senio will be collecting 42 points. MGK will be collecting 38, Aldori will be collecting 36, Busov will be collecting 34, and Cole will be collecting 32. So Senio will be reducing the gap between him and Sean Cole by 10 points, which will reduce the gap between him and the Scotsman to a single point. Aldori, who's ahead of Cole in this race, is taking 4 points out of his lead at the same time, but it will be down a position. The gap between him and Cole from 9 to 5. Rose, who's in 2nd position, will be collecting 38 points. He'll be tied on points with Aldori. So the gap between the top 4 would be reduced even more to what it was before the race has started. But either way, it's still early days and a lot can change. Well, Law's dropped back positions at the moment. He's had a nightmare of a lap on this one. He was ahead of Moggs actually in 17th position, but Moggs is back ahead of him, and Law is back behind Clayton. Oh, and that explains why. His bonnet's damaged. Now he's going to struggle with the handling, really. Oh, and that's another car off. Who's gone off there in the... Just trying to have a look. Well, Makovsky's in the pit, so it's not him. Fireblade has done his mandatory stop already. He's just rejoined before the leaders have come round, so he should not need to get out of the way for blue flags. I wanted to have a look who that was that lost positions. It was Niels Van Lyck, who was running in the top 10, so he's dropped back horribly after that mistake. And Craig Law has come into the pits to get the damage repaired, and that's probably the right decision, to be honest with you, even though the timing of that pit stop isn't how he'd have wanted it to have been done. So it looks like Makovsky's race is done, or he's decided to get his mandatory stop done already, but he's down a lap on everyone, more or less, so that's effectively his race finished. Mauro Senio doing everything right so far. The 99 Audi. It's in all the curb. Careful with track limits, as that can catch you out. You can see how much of the curb and then some he is using. GK keeping him honest. Rose has already won a race this season at the Hungaroring in round 3. Aldor is 3 seconds behind the Ferrari. Got Nikola Busov and Sean Cole a battle with him, as well as Adam Anderson. Kowski's rejoined the race now. Oh no, he hasn't. No, he's still in the pits actually. He's 2 laps down on the lead. He's been in the pits for a long time, so I wonder if he's had heavy damage to his machine. Cole is right on the tail of Busov now. He was only a 10th behind him at the end of the lap. He's dropped back from him. Got Anderson on his gearbox. Drops back another position, Sean Cole. That would hand the lead to Mauro Senio in the championship battle. See how feisty Anderson is getting at the moment. We'll ride on board with him as they come towards the Dunlop curve. Their way through at the moment. Ben Milden's moved ahead of Smallhand now. He's up into 8th place. alongside Craig Law. Whereabouts is Craig Law on the circuit? He's ahead of those that are just about to lap him. You can say that he's ahead of Fireblade, so he's got a bit of a cushion over him. Fireblade gets out of the way of race leader. I'll have to move out of the way of MGK in a moment too. It's been a positive race so far. Not for everyone, but there's a long way to go yet, as I've already mentioned. We are 1/5 of the way through, 12 minutes down. Freeman's trying to look for a move on for Vissel for 10th place. Oh, he gets hit from behind! That's Lewis Robinson is spun in round. That was a really clumsy manoeuvre there from Robinson, came from too far back. He just ran into the rear of the McLaren, and he wisely gives up the position to him. Freeman will be livid with him after that. So that has dropped him down a number of places, fortunately. So one of his down. How far down is he? Freeman. Well, he's behind Hutchison now, but he is ahead of Robinson still, so I think he's down to 13th place, where he was a moment ago. Number 47 in the pits. That is Vantage, who's presumably there to get his stop done out of the way. So Arsenio up behind the 226 of Craig Law, who just keeping up with his pace at the moment, so he doesn't have to get the blue flags. Interesting to know when the leaders will decide to pit in. It's been brilliant to watch so far. Busov under threat from Kull. Fireblade continues to be waved the blue flags, and that's Van der Waal under threat from Milden. Milden up the inside, and that's a clean overtake from the Brit. So Milden up to 7th place ahead of the Dutchman. Freeman is in the pits. I think after contact, I think he'll have had damage to his rear wing, I'd have thought, after the maladies with Lewis Robinson. Sorry, running in P3. MGK over a second off the lead. On lap 8. No problems. Oh, that's a car off the circuit. Who's that? Oh, and that's Vantage, who's already done a pit stop. They've gone off on the exit of the Schumacher S, and he nearly took out the race leader there, and that will have put Moritz off guard. Yeah, he's having to move out of the way there, and Vantage just needs to be careful with his driving stance there, because that is not the best way to go through the Warsteiner curve. Comes back on track now. Last thing he wants to be is an obstacle for those trying to lap him. Oh, that was very close. Too close, really. Anderson has got past Busov, but Vantage is making an absolute meal of it. He's having an absolute mare on this lap. Now, luckily, the next car behind him is actually a car that he's battling for position with, so he just needs to get on with his race now. Otherwise, he's going to get blue flagged by those trying to lap him all the time. MGK's got the gap down now to under a second. Freeman has rejoined the race. He's down in 22nd position, but at least he's done his mandatory stop now. And he's not got anywhere near the leaders who are trying to lap him. He's got some clean air to get some fast laps in and try and complete an undercut on a number of the drivers. And Kull has got in front of Busov now into 4th place. And Busov is ahead of Anderson as they come through. So Kull gaining an extra 2 points in the championship race. Dora running in P3, MGK in 2nd place. And closer now to the leader. In the background, that is Craig Law, who's already made his stop. Just wonder whether he is going to actually get the blue flags in a moment. Oh, that's Morix, and I have to say both Morix and MGK got away with riding the curves there. At least that's helped Craig Law pull away a little bit. That could have been the pair of them performing some synchronised spinning. Going through turn 1. Through turns 3 and 4 they go through. Behind Busov, Milden in P7, 3 seconds behind his fellow Brit. See Fighter who's coming up. Oh, Advantage just almost running into the rear there of for Bizzle. Now I know he's allowed to overtake those that he's not necessarily buttoning with, but he has to be careful of blue flags at the same time. And if he ignores the blue flags too much, he may pick up a penalty. Oh dear, this is not really what Vance should be doing at the moment. He is holding up Fighter, who is a lap ahead of him, and he's getting the blue flags all the time, but he's not adhering to it. Got to do it soon, because otherwise he's going to end up being penalised if he's not careful. Yeah, he's let him through now, but he should have let him through a few corners before at least. MGK has got the gap down to 0.2 of a second on by sector 2 on this lap on Arsenio. So they go down the pit straight and coming towards the Yokohama S. And that's been completed. I did say 30 laps would be round about how many it's going to be. Could well be 31. The clock reaches 0, whatever lap the leader is on is the last lap. And it looks like Milden is into the pits for his mandatory stop now, so just under 20 minutes in and he's going for the pits. Vantage is back in the pits at the same time. I wonder if he's had a moment on circuit or whether he's picked up damage. Doesn't appear to be too much damage, but he has not had a good race so far. Like it's going to be any better, so he could well be the 3rd retirement of the race. Gap is half a second, but to be honest, you don't really need me to tell you what the gap is, because you can see the two drivers in your picture. We've got the 174 off track. That is Kamil Makovsky, who's just come out of the pits. He's already damaged the car. Not been a good night for him. Certainly not. We'll go to the helicam and watch the two come through the last sector. Now this next section of the circuit is where they nearly dropped it at the same time. get away with it on this occasion. It's that traffic cone on the circuit, but I'm sure that won't put the leaders off too much. Turn 1, MGK. To get through. Milden down in 21st place now, he's ahead of Freeman. Milden is in number 5, Mercedes AMG. He's just going through the Dunlop curve. It's over 10 seconds clear of Freeman. Nils van Dijk is beginning to make his way back through the field a little bit. He's in P18, but he has yet to make his mandatory stop. It's the highest of all those that have pitted. This is lap 12. Don't know for certain when the leaders are going to pit in. We are approaching the halfway point in this one, so it could be around about the next 2 or 3 laps. We are going to see pit stops from the leaders. Go to the battle for 4th place because Aldori, although Aldori is well clear of Cool actually, so Cool has got some work to do from 4th position. He's got 5 seconds to make up on him actually. Smallhan is in front of Van der Waal for P7, and Varkloff Bizzle is in 9th place. Fighter, after having to try and get his fight his way past Vantage, because Vantage didn't make it easy for him to get through via blue flags. It's in P11 and it's Stuart Hodgson, and it looks like Van der Waal is going back in front of Smallhand as they cross over the line on the pit straight. It's back into P7 as they go through the Yokohama S, no problem from the Audi driver. Regards to the Manufacturers' Championship. Mercedes are on top, 417 points. Audi second and 416. They are the 2 contenders in that. But only the 2 best scores from each team in a race will count. So at the moment, Moritz and Busov are the highest 2 Audi drivers, so only their scores would apply to the manufacturer's total from this race. And Mercedes' best 2 scores are Aldori and Kull, who are 3rd and 4th. As it stands, with the points allocated, it will still remain very, very close. Moritz and Busov's total would increase team's total to 74 points, and Mercedes AMG would be collecting 70. So the gap at the top, well, the leadership would change actually. Audi would move in front by 3 points going into Misano. See, Van der Waal running wide as Sean Kull comes into the pits. Clayton is in as well. So this is an important pit stop for Kull. He'll want to try and get out before Ben Milden gets round, which I'm sure he will. There's an off at turn 1. That's the 226 of Craig Law yet again, having an absolute mare of a race so far. He's behind Will Freeman. He's allowed the leaders to go through, but he's lost a lot of time. Not what he needed. I don't know if he's come together with someone, whether he's just lost it all by himself. But either way, that's not a good sign for his race at all. 246 of Paul Trotman coming round, so Cole will rejoin behind him. What are the leaders going to do? Well, they don't need to worry too much about Sean Cole because he was a long way back. Around about 12 seconds behind these two. Ooh, and see a little twitch there from Senio, getting a little bit out of shape, but recovered it well in time. Come down to who decides to pit in first and gets out some clean air, not getting caught up in traffic. See MGK closing in still. Brilliant battle to watch. It's to a loving life here at the Nurburgring with the standards of their driving. Okay, still keeping himself in there. As challenging as possible for Morex. And Adam Anderson's in the pits from 5th place. Vita is in on that lap as well at the end of lap 14. Dunlop curve. Driver's leaving the pits now. Well, Anderson's done his stop. He's leaving his box, but I think Sean Cole is on the pit straight. He should go past him. Does. Cole is through, so he doesn't have Anderson to worry about. Two don't look like any sign of making a mistake at the moment. This is going to come down to the pit stops. And who's going to get out in front of who? CMGK just using Morex as a bit of a guide as to how to tackle last part of the lap. And there's a spin for the number 57. That is Fireblade. Oh, he's parked. Oh no! He's parked in a danger position. And that looks like Moggs that's run into him. Is it Moggs that's run into him, or don't take out whoever it was? Moggs, who was running in 12th, innocent bystander in all of that. Now, Fireblade had his spin, and there was traffic coming through, and to be honest, it's not Moggs' fault, but Fireblade just probably pushed too hard. Aldori and Busov are both in the pits. There's no question that Fireblade will be in the pits at the end of the start. He's got bad damage to his car. Heavy damage, and I think that'll be his race done for today. It's the battle for the lead still, as Hutchinson and Thomas go into the pits. On that curve, you can see Arsenio running wide there. That might give MGK a little bit of an opportunity to pull alongside, but can't make it stick. Slots back in behind. Spanu and Moggs are in. Moggs will need to get that repair job done. No question. Now, did Aldori get out in front of Busov? He did, and Busov is quite a way behind. And he's got Sean Cole alongside there. Cole will go to the outside, but Busov has got the job done ahead of him, so he's able to complete an overcut on the Mercedes AMG. Now that is important for the championship. Won't go too much into the championship situation because the drivers are in their irrelevant positions, but Morex is in the pits, but he's got held up by Fireblade. This is the last thing he wanted. Oh, he's got held up big time. He's got past him, but Fireblade was going to the pits at the same time, and he's held up the leader. Morex, for me, should have just stayed out for another lap. bad decision. So that's going to give MGK a little bit of a helping hand, but he's still got a stop to make. And Moritz, well, he's just got to hope that he does not get out in traffic. He's got some time to make up all the ground he needs to. Van der Waal in the pits, Robinson likewise. Moritz has done his stop now, but where is he going to feed back out? Well, Fizzle is already ahead of him. Ice Dude is heading for the pits. And Aldori has already done his stop, and he's coming through now. But I think Moritz is pretty much already at pit exit, and he is. So he'll rejoin ahead of Aldori, no problem. That time lost behind Fireblade will cost Moritz dear unless he can get some fast laps put in there. So just 3 drivers now have yet to make their mandatory stops. They are the top 3 currently in this race. MGK, Smallhand and Pavizzle. MGK is heading for the pits. He decides that it's the right time to cover off Moritz. Now needs to make this pit stop absolutely spot on. Smallhand will come through, as will Pavizzle. They're going to carry on for another lap or so, or are they going to head for the pits also? I think Pavizzle is heading for the pits. So Smallhand is the only driver left in this race to make his stop. Moritz is coming towards the last sector now. MGK will be off the box, I would have thought so now. Moritz is coming through. Last turn. Where is MGK? I don't think he's left his box yet, has he? He has now. He's coming down the pit straight, but I think Moritz's outlap was too good. It's just coming out of the pits. Moritz, despite being held up at pit entry, has taken back the lead of the race. So if MGK is going to win this one, he'll have to do it on the circuit. That is mass relief, that, for Mario Arsenio. Now he's coming up to drivers who are a few laps behind. That's the 174 of Makovsky. Staying out of the way. He's well out of sync with the others, so I don't think he's going to get any points out of this. It's like Fireblade is continuing on. Smallhand is coming through. He'll be heading towards the pits, I think, at the end of this lap. Five minutes remaining. Comes. Hoping that this stop will put him back into the top 10, or leave him in the top 10. MGK's gap to Moritz is bigger than what it was before the pit stops had begun. So he's going to have to make up for that now. Sean Cole is running in what will effectively be 5th place once he goes past Smallhand. Just to find a way past Nikola Busov, really. Chicane, they both do. Oh, there's a little bit too much curve there, and he's run wide as Cole, which won't help. And Smallhand rejoins in 10th, just in front of Lewis Robinson, who's managed to get in front of Fighter, believe it or not. Smallhand's tyres won't quite be up to full temperature yet. Running in 11th position. Freeman, of which he had a collision with earlier on, is in 14th place behind Hutchison. But looks like Robinson might get a good run here on Smallhand into turn 5. He looks left, he looks right, he looks left, but can't quite make a move. And Fighter will fancy a go at it as well. Now Sean Cole running in 5th place, closing in on Nikola Busov. And find a way through. And they can tell you the gap between Morix and MGK was 1.1 seconds. I think it could well be less than that by the time they go through sets 2. Let's have a look. It's around about the same. It's now 1.2. Gap is close. Laps completed. It's proving to be one of those ordinary races, you have to say. The drivers have been behaving themselves fine. I've had the odd collision or two, but not too dramatic. To look at Robinson, line up for a pass on Smallhand for 10th. Turn 1, Robinson looks to the inside. Does Smallhand see him? I think he saw him in time, and that was a brilliant move that from Lewis Robinson. Although he hasn't got the move done yet, it looked like he made the move stick, but Smallhand had the inside line into turn 2 and managed to keep his nose ahead. They come towards turn 5. It's a nose. He's got a chance of making the move. Freeman is ahead of Hutchison now for 13th. Craig Law, after his melodies earlier on, has called it quits unfortunately, so he's out of the race. 22 still running as we speak. Lost Moggs, we've lost Makovsky, we've lost Law, we've lost Vantage, and Andy Craven never started the race. So Makovsky may actually be going back on circuit now. He is back on circuit, but he needs to watch for the leaders because they're just going through turn 1. I don't know why Makovsky's continuing to carry on, to be honest with you, because it doesn't look like he's going to try and salvage something. He's got anything to salvage. Just seen that MGK has got the fastest up of the race now. He's closing down the gap, and that's important for the championship because those 2 points are taken away from Mauro Arsenio and 2 points are gaining for the Ferrari driver. With the positions as they are, Mauro Arsenio will be collecting 40 points in this race. We'll move on to 228. MGK collecting 40 points as well. Also going on to 228. Aldori, who's running in 3rd, will collect 36. He would move on to 226, and Sean Cole in 5th will be collecting 32 points. He'd go on to 231. So the gap between the top 4, as it stands, is set to be just 5 points. Busov, who obviously still has a mathematical chance, but most realistically it's between Arsenio, Kroos, Aldori and Kull. Drivers done their stops now. It's a mad dash to the finish. So who's going to come out as the race winner here between Mauro Senio and MGK? These two tied on points coming into this race. MGK has already won a race this season. Mauro Senio has not. Bizzle is ahead of Van der Waal for 8th place now. He's had a respectable race, has for Bizzle. He hasn't had the best of seasons, but he's on course to equal his best result of the campaign, to go with what he achieved 7 days ago at Mount Panorama. Gap is less than 6 tenths between the top two, and this could be a potential change in position because MGK looks to be within striking range to have a go, but where is the best place to make the overtake happen? It's probably going to be in turn 1. For your top two. Both are coming through. Pink to the last chicane of the lap. See MGK almost hitting that bollard there that they were going through. Mauro Senio holding his nerve, and he's still in the lead. Remain there around 10 laps time. So that Aldoro, I think he's just coming up to the lap of back marker actually. That is Josh Clayton, who's running in 21st position. Done too much run in this race as far as I know. Just hasn't had the pace tonight in comparison to previous races. This result has been 9th at the Hungaroring. It's missed 3 rounds this season as well. Top two refusing to leave each other alone. This is racing after all. Now we can see MGK right slipstream looking to make a move, but this is not going to be the best place to do it at. Just needs to stay on his tail coming out of the last turn. May even need a wider exit alongside. Again, Arsenio doing all he needs to do. All the curb on the exit. Ferrari isn't quite backing down just yet. Van der Waal's right on the gearbox of Bizzle for 8th place. Sean Kull, not close enough to make a move on Nikola Busov. Busov, who to this round 35 points off the championship lead, will reduce it to 33. Sarno, Sandvort and Kyle Army to come, so he's going to need a strong end to the season if he's going to be world champion of Taco Tuesday. Oh, we can see Assetto running wide, and that might give MGK the chance to go through here. And MGK's got through! Or has he? Because Assetto looks to fight back here. He'll want to get into the slipstream and pull alongside and make a dive bomb or something into turn 1. On the inside they come. And I think MGK has done it. Goes in too deep, and Assetto's got back through again. Very, very lucky there was Assetto. Got well out of shape coming out of the final chicane. That allowed MGK to pull alongside, with Assetto missing it. Oh, and there he goes, look. MGK on the inside into turn 4. He can't make the move stick there either. So it's just as you were. Morex still in the lead, but for how long? MGK looks to make his way back through again. There's a back marker ahead of him who will need to get out of the way once they come round to him. Alright, still in the lead. Here they come. Trotman staying out of the way. He's running in 20th position, so having a respectable one, but so they want to remember. GK still to fright Arsenio with over 10 minutes remaining. 25 laps done. So we are looking to 31 laps, so we've got 6 laps to go here at the Nurburgring in Germany. Circuit that's played some absolute classic races in real life over the years in Formula 1. The infamous Nordschleife, and of course on this 5.1 kilometre circuit. Think of races of Johnny Herbert's victory for Stewart in 1999. That incredible wet beginning in 2007, which someone called Marcus Winkelhock in his only F1 start leading the race briefly before a red flag was waved due to the weather conditions. Of Michael Schumacher's drive in 1995, where he reduced the arrears to race leader Jean Alesi before he passed him with over a couple of laps to go. This race is not done yet, not by any means. Can MGK move into the lead? Pick up his second win of the campaign, or is Arsenio be able to hold on until the checkered flag? Come through again. Arsenio able to execute the chicane nicely. MGK likewise takes a slightly wider line to help him with the traction on the exit. Able to get through right now as Bull is still behind Busov in the fight for 4th position. Bizzle is still ahead of Van der Waal, but Van der Waal's right on his gearbox as well. car off circuit. That'll be Kevin Makowski in the 174, so he's well out of contention in this race anyway. Not sure if he'll get the points for finishing where he is because he's so far behind. But we watch Van der Waal, who looks to make a move on the outside into the Yokohama S. Do a switch back on the exit, not quite so. So Provizzle lives to fight another day, although Van der Waal may go for a dive bomb into turn 3. As far as Provizzle got too far out on the curb. Looks like Cool is about to make a move on Busov here. Coming towards the Dunlop curve. Can't get through there either. Steiner curve. Ferrari driver who still cannot find a way past Morax. Okay, thinking about it. Still no way through. .27 completed, we're now on lap 28. Is MGK going to find a way through? Right this second, he thinks about it into turn 1, goes for it! On the inside, MGK goes in too deep, and Morax gets back through again. It was worth a go. And that won't be the last of it. But Arsenio knows he just needs to be careful not to leave the door open too much, in case MGK decides to go for an overtake at the last moment. Cole's still not able to get past Busov for 4th. Van der Waal looks to make a move up the inside. Does he stay on the inside? He does. Can he get this car slowed down in time? He does, but it's allowed for Bizzle to get the traction on the exit. He'll have the high ground into turn 2. But Van der Waal's got his nose in front for now, but I think Bizzle is still going to have his Audi in front. Stays in front again, so he's able to keep hold of the position once more. I can tell you that Ben Milden has closed in on Adam Anderson in the fight for 6th position. So that battle is coming alive. These two have been at it since the start. Track temperature coming down now to 29 degrees Celsius, that is. As MGK runs wide, and that's going to lose him ground to the leader. The last corner of the lap. So we've got 3 laps to go in this race now. Doesn't look like Moritz is going to be caught unless MGK can claw back margin. Cool, not able to make a move on Busov still at the present moment. Milden's got the gap down to 1.5 seconds. It's now 1.3 through sector 2. So he's running wide on the grass. It's Milden. And it looks like Van der Waal is trying to make a move on for Bizzle for Avo. Oh, he's made contact with him! Van der Waal and Bizzle have come together on the exit of the last turn. That looks clumsy from Van der Waal. Now what about Bizzle? Because he's dropped back a lot. He's in the gravel trap and he's going to fall behind Will Freeman in 13th. So he's lost 5 positions after that collision. He will be furious with the Dutchman. Half seconds is the gap still between the top 2. Sean Cole. I'm Busov. out of the fast side of the curve. .4 seconds is the gap. It's now 1.5 again. MGK is going to be second for second place now. Oh, and the two run wide, and Cole has somehow managed to get through ahead of Busov as Busov ran wide on the exit of the chicane. A crucial 2 points going in the way of Sean Cole here at the Nurburgring. That was coming from for some time, but Busov is through into 4th place now. Unless Busov can fight back here. Anderson ahead of Milden, the gap is 1.1. Van der Waal is ahead of Smallhand. Freeman has run wide on the exit of the last, and I think Vissel is going to make a move back in front of him in a moment. Go side by side towards turn 1 they come. Vissel is on the outside. Cannot find a way past. No change. Back to the top 2. In fact, they've closed back on each other again. So Morris has made a mistake in the second sector, and that's going to allow MGK to get back into the slipstream once more. On the outside goes the Ferrari. He thought about it. Morris will need to defend his line into the last corner. And it's contact made between the top 2. And Morris is off, and MGK's got past. Now that might get looked at by the stewards. That looked like a really, really clumsy manoeuvre. It was audacious from MGK. Did Morris leave him enough room on the inside? They're on the final lap now. MGK is in the lead. He'll take the checker flag first, but will he keep that race win? I'm just watching it back on the stream. Was there enough of a gap? To be honest with you, it's difficult to call. That'll have to be something for the stewards later, but either way, MGK is in front, Morris in second place, but it will be under investigation by the stewards. There's no question of it. A very important point in the race. MGK is on course for his second win of the season and close down the gap in the championship race. Morix will be very disappointed. And if if MGK was to be penalised, how big of a penalty will it be? Will it be a 5-second penalty, a 10-second penalty? We'll have to see in due course. They're coming round towards the last sector of the lap now. MGK is going to close down the gap between himself and Sean Cole in the championship race. It'll be a question of whether he'll keep this race win following the contact with Morex. For the time being at least, MGK comes round the last corner, takes the checker flag and wins at the Nurburgring in Taco Tuesday in the Formula Racing League in the Pro category. Morex second over the line. We'll be having words of MGK out of thought afterwards because it looked pretty reckless if I'm honest, but we'll leave that for the stewards for later to look at. Armin Aldori picking up another podium in third place. Sean Cole fourth. Nikola Busov fifth. And then it's Adam Anderson who should hold off Ben Milden for sixth place. He's had a good race tonight as Anderson, so he's merited that place. Milden seventh. Smallhand eighth. Van der Waal, I would imagine, will be under investigation for the contact between him and Farklov Papizel. He comes home ninth. Fighter, who's not had a lot to do, to be honest with you, is in 10th. Lewis Robinson will be 11th. Freeman will hold on to 12th ahead of Papizel. Cameron Blair, Stuart Hutchinson, Ray Thomas, Nils van Lyck, Ice Dude, Alex Spanu, I think, stopped on the last lap, and he hasn't actually crossed over the line. So I wonder if he ran out of fuel on the last lap. He may not keep that position, but we'll leave that for the stewards to decide. Josh Clayton 20th ahead of Paul Trotman and Fireblade. And I think they were the rest of the finishers. But there's your race winner, for the time being at least. It's Melvin Krause at the Nurburgring. Just waiting for the rest of the drivers to cross over the line. Run down on for classification for tonight's race. Number 34 out on circuit as we speak. I think he's crossed over the line. The graphics to update for the classification to appear. Full classification. So here's your final classification of today's race here at the Nurburgring. MGK wins, for now at least. Marix in second, then it's Ahmed Al-Dori and Sean Cole in third and fourth. Then it's Nikola Busov in fifth, like Anno Anderson and Bill Milden. Smallhand, Damon van der Waal and Kobe Alerts running out the top 10. Lewis Robinson 11th, followed by Will Freeman. Following up a Vizzle will be 13th, ahead of Cameron Blair, Stuart Hodgson, Ray Thomas in 16th, Nils Van Lyck, Ice Dude in 17th and 18th. Alex Spanu shown in 19th position, but considering he didn't actually take the checkered flag, I'm not sure if that's going to count as a finish, to be honest with you. I think he's run out of fuel on the last lap. Josh Clayton in 20th position, Paul Trotman in 21st, Fireblade in 22nd place. Cameron Mikowski shown as 5 laps down, at least anyway, or I'm sure it's more than that. At least he took the checkered flag, but I'm not sure if he'll get the points for it. Moggs didn't finish, neither did Law or Vantage or Andy Craven. So the championship, as it is, going by the current classification, it may well change. The MGK gets 42 championship points. He moves on to 230. Mario Arsenio has picked up 38. Is on to 226. Ahmed Al-Dori, by finishing third, moves on to 226. And Sean Cole, by finishing fourth, moves on to 233. So the gap at the top is down to 7 points between the top 4 in the standings in favour of Sean Cole, who is top. In terms of the manufacturers, in terms of that particular race, Ferrari might have won, but in terms of between Audi and Mercedes, I think the gap is actually the same in Mercedes' favour, so they are ahead by 1 point still, going into the final 3 races of the season. The next round, Bean and Misano in a week's time. Thank you very much for watching us. Do make sure you like and subscribe. Do make sure you follow the FRL's social pages of Instagram and Facebook. And you can keep right up to date with all the action that's happening in the Formula Race League Assetto Corsa Competizione. We'll leave it there. We'll do it again next week. Thank you for watching. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.